All right. Yes, welcome again to Real Invest Webcast episode 007. Sorry, episode 11. I'm trying out a different setup here because my streaming platform has been um, swallowing my stream for Instagram. So I have my phone streaming on Instagram, and then I have my computer streaming to YouTube and Facebook separately. So I hope that this works out today. Let me know what you'll think about this new setup here. Today we'll be picking up where I left up. Yeah, I was on vacation for the past couple of weeks, and it's good to be back. It's really good to be back because sometimes being away can be a bit strenuous. So I'm glad I'm back again to begin to communicate again with you guys with regards to what's going on in the real estate market. Again, we'll keep it short and sweet. By 7:30, we'll be out of here, but it'll be good time for us to just quickly touch base on what's going on in the market, what we need to be doing as investors or potential buyers or sellers, whatever you are, and how to properly position yourself in light of what's going on in the market. My name again is Joseph Olatiragun, and this is Real Invest Webcast episode 011, episode 11. Please make sure to like and share the video on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you know when next online here sharing all the good stuff. So, quick market updates. What's going on in the market? Well, the trend has been in the same direction the past few weeks now. We're tending from sellers market towards a balanced market to more of a buyer's market. What does that mean? It means that the demand continues to drop and supply continues to grow. We were in an extreme market earlier this year where the demand was so much low, the inventory was low, much lower than the demand in the market, and that's according to the law of demand and supply. That's what causes price to rise significantly. And then we are now moving to a more balanced market where the level of volume in the market, level of inventory in the market is beginning to match up with the level of demand. That means that we are in, uh, buyers are getting more options to look at when they're looking to buy a home. Sellers are also needing to be a bit well versed about how to properly position themselves to make sure that they are marketing themselves adequately on the market. Earlier in the year, you could just list your property and not care about how it looks. You could inflate the price and still get a few eyes on it. But we're in a market where you can still sell your market, but you need to pay your fair share. You need to put some due diligence in. You need to make sure that your home looks good. You need to make sure that, in light of the competition that you have out there as a seller, your house stands out. Okay, so that's what it means to be in a balanced market. It just means that you have maybe a bit less eyes looking at your house than it was a few months ago. And in some pockets in Ontario, they actually already moved over to a buyer's market. And in that context, the supply greatly outweighs the demand, and there's a huge inventory, and how homes are staying much longer on the market. So that's the direction we've been heading for the past few weeks. So, what does that mean to you as a buyer? Like I've explained before, it means that you as a buyer have options. Uh, don't You have to get into every deal with the mind of a business person. You're looking at a deal, you're considering them on its merit, and you're also considering them in the light of the many other options that you have available to you on the market as a buyer. So there's no more need for you to be impulsive about buying a property. It's necessary for you to know what you want and take time to look for it, and with some patience and the right professional working with you, you're likely to find what you're looking for at a bargain. Obviously, sellers are still very much apprehensive about getting what their home's worth, but sometimes you just want to look for the more realistic seller to make sure that you're able to get what you want for the price that you want it. So as a buyer, now is your time, and it's your time for you to weigh your options, look at the market, get a good bargain. Take your time to negotiate with whatever deal you're trying to strike, and you're likely to get what you want as long as it's within the realm of reason. What does it mean to a seller being in a balanced stroke buyer's market? It means that as a seller, you need to be competitive. You need to make sure that your home shows well. Your home needs to be more welcoming. You don't want to leave the house to the imagination of a buyer, because trust me, I've worked with many buyers and they don't have vivid imaginations. If your house does not look good, they take it at face value. If your house looks good, then to most buyers, it means that to the core and to the bones of the house, it's perfect. So you want to be competitive about how your house looks. You want to make sure that you declutter when you're preparing to sell. You want to make sure that you depersonalize your house, take away all those things that are so personal to you that may not necessarily apply to many other. For example, your family photos, it might be a good time for you to take them down and maybe hang some generic wall art on your wall. If you're considering painting the house, I know some people that love a splash of red on everything in their homes. This is not the time to get that kind of creativity going in your house. If you're looking to sell, this is not the time to paint your house red all through. Okay, this is a time for you to begin to actually take your time to find something that work with the most amount of potential buyers out there when you're trying to get your home ready for sale. So with regards to color, stay in the safe zone. Find some cool tones. Those are the colors that are in vogue these days. Make sure that your home is in a color that won't be biting to buyers, or be polarizing, where some buyers will be like, whoa, I love this, or some buyers are like, no, I hate that. You want to stay in the pocket, in the middle range, where you can capture the attention of most buyers. Talking about marketing your property, again, employ the help of a professional like myself that would leverage the connection I have with many other professionals to make sure that your home stands the best chance to sell in this type of market. This is not the time to list your property with phone pictures. This is not the time to be DIYing things around your house if you're looking to sell. This is the time to make sure that a professional is taking good photos to make sure that your home stands out. Where when buyers see it on the market, believe you me, most buyers these days find their own home and then bring it to their realtors. In some cases, it doesn't mean that the realtor doesn't send it to them, but what I mean is that many buyers take time to analyze their houses. The potential buys, they analyze them online. So what your home shows like online goes a long way. So those photos needs to be pretty. They need to be done by a professional. They need to be touched up after being taken before they're added to your listing. So as a seller, what else do you need to be doing? You need to be very realistic. You need to be very realistic as to what the market can offer you right now. It's no news now that the market has really swayed to the downside a little bit, and we all know why that is. Again, if you just look on a macro level, it's a law of the demand and supply and demand. There is money is being made more expensive these days. What that means is that it costs you more money to borrow money. Interest rate is high. That means that the cost of spending is higher. If it costs you 10% a year to spend $1 before, now it's costing you much more than that. And what that means is that most people will be shy of spending right now. So with that, that means demand will drop. Now, once demand drops, then if even if the supply remained the same, it means automatically that price will begin to drop because demand will begin to supersede supply. All right. So in that case, you want to sell your house. A professional like myself will be analyzing your house in the light of what's happening in the market right now. Okay. If you're looking to sell your house right now, you should not be looking to sell your house in the same price range as it would have sold for about 3, 4, 5 months ago. That's what's called unrealistic. You got to be realistic with yourself. Know what your home is worth right now by allowing the professional to show you what the landscape look like, and then strategically pricing your house accordingly. Okay. So that's what we need to be doing as sellers to be competitive in this market. Nothing is impossible. You could still get good value for your home. You just have to be realistic about it. What you put into your listing is what you get out of it. If you really don't want to spend any money at all, you don't want to do anything to make it look better, then you can imagine what kind of buyers you're going to be attracting. But if your home looks really good and it stands out from the crowd, then again you can imagine what kind of buyers you're going to be attracting as well. So as sellers, those are the things you need to be to keep in mind as you are, you know, wading the waters in this kind of market. Now, in general, talking about the investor, that's the angle that I want to take some time on, to talk about in this current market. Because many investors are actually quite convoluted in the way they look at the market like this. But one major point that I would like to highlight with this kind of market is that this is the terrain of real estate investment. When you think about 5 6 months ago, when the market was going berserk, is that really the best time to buy for an investor? Think about it. Think about the market we're in right now. Is this now the best time to buy for an investor? Many times it's the way the cookie crumbles is such that the market gives you something, but it takes away something on the other end. You can't eat your cake and have it most times. Okay, for example, in this kind of market, people are, whining about the interest rate and all of that, how financing has become difficult. But it's the same. But then people, if you look at the prices as an investor, you're excited that you could get a good bargain right now, right? So it's the same market that gave you a good bargain. It's that exact same market that has toughened up your ability to access money. Do you see what I'm talking about here? The same market that provided a wonderful bargain for you, that same market has put a leash on your ability to access funds to invest. So when you think about the market that way, you understand that these dynamics are something that you just have to know your way around. It doesn't mean that when a market looks a certain way, then you have to, wave the red flag and just run off. You just have to be strategic about how you analyze the market and make sure that you're in the right pocket, because at the end of the day, real estate is always a long game. If you play the game to your strength, if you play it within your parameters, the market will do what they want. But if you are playing it for the long term, you would likely be safe. I hope that makes sense. I'll kind of go over it again. The market, when it hands you something, will typically take away some other things from you. Okay, when the market was when interest rates was super low, when we started getting the sub 1% interest rate or sub 2% interest rate, and everybody got really excited, uh many a times we begin to overpay for the property. So you have access to funds, but then prices were at levels that weren't really sustainable. Now the market is down, and we're all happy as investors that maybe we could get a good bargain in there. But what has the market done to us in return? It has toughened our ability to access funds to invest. Now, it depends on who you talk to. There are always creative ways to find funds to invest. But in general, we know that interest rates gone up. Banks are more tough with their scrutiny about approving your mortgage. Even B lenders these days. I was still chatting with another investor earlier today, and it's the same story across board. Even B lenders are getting much tougher and tougher to work with these days. I mean, from the investor standpoint, and the reason is being that most people are now kind of shying away from the A lenders because approval has been a bit tougher. So now B lenders are being flooded with this huge amount of business approaching them, and they too have to kind of screen things a little bit more. They have to be a bit more stringent in their scrutiny. So those are the competing constraints that you always have to deal with in the market. um, and that's why you always have to make sure that you pay attention when you're getting a deal. You run your numbers and make sure that you're tight. Even you give yourself some wiggle room, even if the market fluctuates or the market moves in an adverse direction like it is right now. Ultimately, like I was saying about a couple of episodes ago, what do you stand to lose when the market does what it is? Let's say you bought a property in March, April, and the market uh takes a hit like it has right now. As an investor, what do you stand to lose? What is the market likely to do in the next few years? Do you think that the place we're in right now will be sustained for another, let's say, let's throw a number out there, 5 years? That's that's really impossible. Okay, it's not possible for us to stay here. And historically, the market continues to evolve, it continues to move, and it gets a dip like it gets right now, but the dip doesn't last too long. Before we know it, the market rises up to where it was and it continues. The question is, when is it going to do that? How soon is it going to do that? Nobody knows. Is it going to be in a month? Is it going to be in 5 months, 6 months, a year? We don't know, but we don't foresee it being forever. It won't be for too long. So ultimately, as an investor, if you got in at a time that seems to be not too favorable, if you run your numbers properly and you are able to cover your bases, there's really not much to be worried about than to just stay your course. There's nothing else to do than to just keep going. And I tell you what, if let's say what you did was a buy and hold, you bought a property and it seems like you overbought it, ultimately, if you had a good margin and it was a property that was supposed to cash flow positive, maybe right now you'll be breaking even, or maybe you even have to you're in the negative on a monthly basis. Now, not too many people will be able to take on deals like that, where you obviously, if you're looking to grow your portfolio in a massive way, it's not sustainable for you to cash flow negative on on every single deal. That's just not practical. But in on a micro level, when you look at a particular deal, if you are spending $200 to $300 negative on a property let's just use a round number and do the calculation real quick. $100 on a property for 12 months, that's 1,200. For 10 years, let's get massive here. For 10 years, that's what, 12,000. You spent 12,000 in cash flow negative. What do you think you would have accrued in appreciation in 10 years on the same property? I'm just putting that out there. I'm putting the something that looks more like a worst case scenario. You were cash flowing negative $100 on a property for 10 years, and that equates to $10,200. In the worst of markets, it will be really unheard of that the house doesn't appreciate way more than that in 10 years. So I say all of that to say that if you enter right and you run your numbers and your numbers are airtight, at worst case scenario, you move from being cash flow positive to a point where there's you just net zero monthly, or maybe you pay a little bit on top. It's still not the end of the world. Okay, so sounds like I'm playing the devil's advocate here for you investors to know that the market is not something to shy away from. Now, let's take it a little bit further to see what's actually happening in the market right now. If you're buying to hold, one of the things that you need to then think about is the fact that the rental market is actually doing quite well right now. The rental market in Niagara is going nuts. It's at least we know prices are going up. I know that in the GTA we're hearing of bids still happening. I haven't seen too much of that here, but at the same time we know that the rental rates are still going up. So even though your interest rates, are rising, your mortgage payments are growing with that, so also is the rent, which is potentially going to compensate for what we're talking about. And that's what one of the things I talked about in the last episode, especially for maybe first-time buyers, potential first-time buyers that are sitting out of the market because they don't want to pay a high interest rate. My point to you then, if you are that kind of person, is that if you are not paying that high interest rate directly into your mortgage payment, you'll be paying it to your landlord. Because if I was your landlord, I will charge you if I can. I will, if you go come rent from me now, I will be charging based on the mortgage I'm going to be paying on the house right now. Of course, I'll be charging based on market rates, but market rates is going up. So I'll be charging to potentially cover my basis. So as a tenant, even though you're not paying the interest rate to the banks, you'll be paying it through your landlord. So eventually, the landlord will still look to get ahead. So that's how to think about this market right now. Yes, interest rates gone up is part of the cost of doing business. it's don't be scared to jump in the pool. Just be more meticulous, be more methodical about your analysis. Make sure that you run your numbers well, and and everything is where it should be. Okay, so those are the things that I was looking to bring to you here, and based on other questions that people have asked with regards to how to trade this kind of landscape, and what to expect in the market right now. If you all have any questions, please make sure to throw them out. Again, I have two systems in front of me. Sorry, my eyes is kind of going all over the place today because Instagram has not been retaining my videos when I go through my restream platform. So I decided to have my Instagram separately on the phone here, and then YouTube and Facebook on my computer. So sorry if I'm not looking straight at you, but I hope that I've been able to bring some value to you today. um yeah, if you guys have any question, please make sure to throw them in the chat. Sorry guys, I just kept talking. Delicat, that's my sister there. Thanks for joining the stream. Deborah Holmes, thanks for joining. Esther Stanley, thanks for joining. Good to see you all. Thanks a lot for joining. Really appreciate it. Hope that I hope I've shared some things that jared your understanding. Deborah was on the show a few episodes ago, and yeah, that episode is one of the classics. Once in a while I go check it out myself, so that's a good one. Yeah, I intend to keep it quite short today, so I hope that I've been able to bring some value. And yes, if you are on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and like the video and share it as well. And if you're on Facebook and Instagram, please make sure to like and share it as well. Thanks everybody for joining today. It's been an awesome time. Really appreciate you all. And yeah, past couple of weeks been on vacation, but I'm down. I'm back now. I'm back excited. I'm back to deliver value to you all. So please make sure to send those questions in so that I'm ready for you the next episode. God bless you all, and have a blessed week. See you all soon.